Pretty interesting hand. And I had the blocker, so, and then they were all short stacks, so I'm gonna protect. And this guy had 2 pair. So my thinking was somebody might make a mistake with a 1 card flush draw and call there. If they had a 1 card flush draw, yeah, they were 30%. So the pot was 80 cents. Yeah, that was a mistake if they had a flush draw to call, so nobody else did. And, you know, he couldn't go 2 pair. He wasn't on a draw. So that was pretty interesting. This next hand I want to call Beware of the 2 pair. I thought my 2 pair was good, but any ace, well, it was unpaired board, right? So I was feeling pretty good about my 2 pair, but I guess at any moment there could be a different 2 pair. But, you know, the stacks was short enough. The stacks was short enough. The SPR was there. I wasn't risking all that much. And I had a 2 pair. He could be overplaying his king, ace. That could have been read as somebody overplaying their ace. Like he was fed up with my playing at him, and he was going to protect his ace. So yeah, it was okay. I'm reading right now that he's protecting his ace. I have 2 pair. Oh, then what's... Well, on the flop I'm reading that he's not believing me. He doesn't believe I have an ace. Right? And then by the time he raised me and then calls the turn and raises it, I'm thinking he has an ace, right? Still reasonable to think that he has an ace since I improved. I'm reading that his range has been defined to an ace. I didn't see a paired board. He still could have a flush draw. He could have an ace by defining his range on the turn by calling and actually raising. But it was a min raise, so I was priced in. He could still have a flush draw. He could have an ace, right? Or he could have even, he doesn't have a king. Yeah, so it's alright. He still could have had a flush draw and made a mistake of calling or raising. Well, it wouldn't have been a mistake to raise, I guess. Although it was, because it was a min raise. And he was too short stacked to have a flush draw there. If he was a thinking player. This next hand, I don't know if you can see, is something I call Beware of the Overpair. I don't know if you can read this, but down here. So this line, I was trying to make sense of the line, right? Because I have a pair, I figure I'm good. He raises me, and then he bets small. See, that line makes no sense. So he got me with queens. He has pocket queens. So he didn't want to lose the customer, I guess. That line really made very little sense, but it was the set and it was overpair. So that's the way that hand played out. So weird. It's a really weird line, so that's why I didn't believe him, and good for him for playing it weird like that. He could have bet pot and I would have called because I really didn't believe him. I just totally discounted the queen. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But like maybe if the 7 was a club and I had 10 jack, I had 9, 10. 7 was a club down here, and this was a 9, then I'd be able to continue with a flush draw and a pair. Yeah. This was a. I want a pair in the flush draw, so. Yeah, this is a pair in the flush draw. But I wanted a straight and a flush draw. Oh, so then this would have to be a 7 of clubs, and this would be a 9. So, or this is a 9 of clubs. That's a straight flush draw. This is a 9 of clubs, and this is a 2 of diamonds. Okay. Anyways, the way this line played out, it finally made sense. And when it didn't make sense, I called. I think it's a reasonable thing to do, to call when things don't make sense. So that shows you maybe you could play tricky like that too. Bet out instead of bet out small and then bet out big. That's very fishy. Not fishy in the sense that he's a fish, but just it stinks. And when it stinks, people might call like I did. So that was fun.